Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Profit Roadmap. I am Cody Owen, recording a bunch of quarantine podcasts from my house here in Carrollton, Texas. And I am joined today by Phil Ricci from Clearent, and we are going to be talking about credit card processing in a time when you want to be socially distant and maybe not hand-to-hand contact with your customers. So Phil, thanks so much for taking time out of your schedule to join me. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me. This is great. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Appreciate being here.
All right, so as most of our listeners, I'm sure, are aware by now that are Service Autopilot members, Clearent has acquired Service Autopilot, and we are working together to integrate y'all's credit card processing into Service Autopilot and then create, more functionality around credit card processing in SA. So specifically, if we're leaning into what's going on right now with coronavirus, COVID-19, let's just kind of dive in and you talk to me about what credit card processing can do for a service business right now.
Yeah. So, I think one of the hardest things is depending on where you are in the country, right? Like you are either under some pretty heavy restrictions, or you're still allowed to move about the cabin, right? It really all depends on, where you are and where the situation is. But in any situation, one of the biggest things is still being able to get access to customers without being close to customers. One of the benefits of field services, especially like what you guys all do, is you can still do your job, you can still service your clients, and still maintain proper social distancing until you get to the point of payment. And if you're taking cash and you're taking check, there's that exchange of things. So one of the nice things about payment processing that has always been the case, but is really now an amazing benefit, is you can take payments remotely. You can take them over the phone. You can take them through gateways. You cannot have that context. So you can truly keep your customers and your employees safe, still provide all of the same benefits of doing the service, and receive payment in a way where you don't have to put anybody at jeopardy, right? So you can keep complete and total distance, but also still do, all the good work that you are all doing out there. So it definitely enables you to keep things moving as best as possible in a time where, it's pretty strange, right? It's hard to do business a lot of times without interacting with customers. This just gives you an opportunity to keep that going and keep your doors proverbially open and keeping your staff working. So yeah, it definitely a benefit there.
So tell us a little bit about Clearent, the culture at Clearent. We're kind of I want to introduce the Profit Roadmap audience to you and to Clearent as a company, just so that they know who we're working with.
Yeah, so the best way I can describe Clearent is why I'm at Clearent. I'll make it a little personal for everybody, and then I'll talk about the people. I came to Clearent. I've been in this industry for a while. I've been dealing with payments and software and services for longer than I like, right? There's some grades coming in the beard now. But the reason why I love Clearent, it's 100% the people. It is a company of just good-hearted people that want to do right by their clients, by their employees, and by anybody who wants to do business with us. And I've always appreciated that. For my current role, I've built a team here. I've built a bunch of teams for Clearent. And every single person I've ever brought into the company has never been sad that they came or upset that they came or feel like they made a bad choice. And I've never been more confident to bring clients in, previous clients to me. I started off in sales, everybody. I was in the field selling when I first got into all this. I brought clients in, I brought family, my sister's business is in. So it's one of these things where, it's a good family company. And in this time right now, what I'm in charge of is marketing and sales enablement. I'm out talking to people. The first thing that we went in when we met with our CEO, Pam Joseph, who's just an amazing woman, and our entire executive team, which was, we can't sell right now, guys. We need to go and help. My wife works for the VA. She takes care of patients. She's out there every day working with our veterans. We're not going to save a life like she could in that respects, but we can save jobs and we can help merchants through this. So our whole focus, and if you look at our communications that were out there, it's all about how do we help? You know, what are ways that we can keep you in the commerce business? Because we know there's one of two types of merchants today. There's a merchant who's considered an essential service. They can still perform services like many of you can. But you know, it's connecting with customers. It's keeping your employees safe. It's keeping the business going because so many people are losing jobs right now. And then there's another side of it, which is in states where people are shut down. There's no business to be had because they're not allowed to open their doors. So it's us going out to our customers and our merchants and saying, hey, let's help you find ways to keep revenue coming in, like teaching our retail merchants how to do live stream sales events. Like no one's ever done this before. Like, let's bring your door to your customers. So it's us trying to share knowledge. It's us doing aggregate, work with states and the Fed about where's money coming from. It's working with our lending partners that when the restrictions on lending go away, like we're right there trying to find ways to get people access to funds so they can spin right back up. So everything that we are doing is about helping people because that's what our culture is. So our culture is about taking care of people. Our culture is about just being good to one another. And we're big believers that, you know, you take care of people, profits take care of themselves. So we're more focused on taking care of people. And that's who Clearent is.
One thing that occurs to me, kind of wrapping back into coronavirus stuff and contactless payments, is that this is an excellent opportunity for businesses who are still able to be out and working and bringing money in to move more and more of their clients onto credit card processing, like have a greater percentage of your base have a card on file that gets processed. So this is a great opportunity to remind clients that, like, hey, we do accept credit cards. We're not taking cash and check right now.
Yes.
Because it's not safe for our employees to get those things from you. So they're able to push more people onto that. And we have a lawn care millionaire video that I'll link in the show notes where Jonathan talks about this before any of this was happening, about having a bigger percentage of your clients processing with credit cards eliminates a lot of your collections problems, keeps money coming in consistently.
It does. Well, and also you have the opportunities too by doing setting up, through the credit card system, especially if you have monthly services, right? If you're still under an old model where you're invoicing things out and you're waiting for payment collection, especially right now, that's tough. What a lot of our customers have done is, especially in businesses with repeatable services, right, recurring payments, they're able to keep a sense of constant income coming through, right? Because it's being debited right out, it's being credited right out, so they're able to go out there and grab that, and that's important, right? The key thing is what I always say is, and this is going back years, so I'll say it now, right? It's just like you need to find multiple streams of revenue to bring in your business. With adding a credit card processing in it, you're giving different avenues to be paid, right? Like, you never want somebody to be limited because of cash, because of check, because of something, right? Like, opening up doors to all things is important. Right now in this current environment, it's going to keep you safe. It's going to give you options to get recurring payment in a little bit easier, which is going to help you through the short and intermediate. But in the long term, I mean, the world has just changed, guys. I mean, it's not going away, right? Credit card processing isn't like a fad anymore. There's great studies. I mean, checks, if you go back and look at the way payments have been received over the past 20 years, right? 20 years ago, there was still a goodly amount of people that used checks to make payment, right? Use checks and cash. And credit was still a leader even 20 years ago, but it was definitely still a large base of the consumers use cash and check. That number has dwindled, and I mean dwindled, right? Electronic means credit card, electronic, electronic, we call it electronic conversations, but things through those payment gateways at this point, it now represents more than 85% of how commerce is done. I mean, that's just That's just the way we do business now as a society, and that will keep evolving as time goes in. So it's really not a matter of should you or shouldn't you. It's a matter of how should you, so that you can get it all set up right. Yeah.
So if you have, is that 85% number like a decent benchmark to look at your business? Like if 85% of our payments are coming in credit card, is that like a good place to be aiming?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. So we always talk about it. One of the first questions, and we teach this to reps, and we teach this to partners, and we talk about it all the time with our merchants, right? Most of our reps, the first thing they'll ask you is, what do you know about credit card processing? Like, what do you know about this, right? There's costs, there's figures, all this stuff going on. And one of the big questions that we always ask is, what percentage of your income, these are for people who are processing, would you say comes through this little terminal, your gateway, or your online, that are credit card payments? And it always goes in hand with actual studies. It's always like, I don't know, like 80, 90%, right? Like most businesses live in that 80 to 90% of how they take in money goes through these means now. So what'll happen is if you're not doing it, it'll take some time. It doesn't automatically go to that. Like it's not going to be month one, this month two, it's 90%. But as soon as you start opening up as an advantage or an opportunity, you're going to watch it's going to shift right over. And field services is literally no different. It's the same. Yeah. It's modeled just the same way.
Awesome. Well, Phil, thank you so much for taking time out of your day away from your family while we're all quarantined to hang out with me and have a chat. I really appreciate it.
Oh, thanks. I appreciate it. And I appreciate everybody out there. I know to you and all your customers, stay strong. We've been saying it all the time. Just, stay calm, stay safe, stay healthy, stay consistent in all your activities. We will get through this together, and we look forward to helping in any way. So thank you so much.
All right, Phil, you're very welcome.
Take care.
You too.